You are listening to Africa Business Radio, where you get up-to-date insight on Africa business landscape. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available as podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
Okay. Welcome to 989 Tech Talk. This show is in affiliation with Africa Business Radio, your #1 online radio station. 989 Tech Talk covers all things tech in the agricultural space. My name is Michelle. I am mad about tech. No.
Africa Business Radio. Take advantage. It's yours.
Yes, my people, welcome back to the second episode of Unfold with Dr. Dedun. Here's your host, Dr. Dedun herself. Here we are on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Africa Business Radio, your #1 online business radio. And Unfold is in affiliation with Africa Business Radio, where I talk about everything live from your business, school, career, entrepreneurship, and you just name it. We're going to talk about everything on this show. So today, I'm just going to vibe with you for some minutes before I bring my guest on. What are we going to talk about today? We're talking about challenges in career building. I mean, I've mentioned before that I'm a medical doctor, but currently you're listening to me on your radio station. How is that possible? How did I get here? I do have a lot of things to share with you today, so please just stay tuned and let's enjoy this show together. Yes, welcome again to the second episode. So today we're talking about challenges in career building. And I mentioned earlier how I'm a medical doctor and now you're listening to me on your radio station. And I also have businesses that I currently do in Lagos, Nigeria. So before I actually go deep into the topic, I just want to mention this business that I do. Okay, so I'm currently a baker, but prior to that, I was running 4 businesses while I was in medical school back in Hungary. So basically, I was hairdresser, I was a baker, I was even a makeup artist at some point. And then I was also a cook where people could order food, Nigerian food, for their pleasures. So you're probably wondering, like, wow, how was I able to do all those 4 things? Trust me, I still don't know how to answer that question correctly now. But I'm just going to say everything just stemmed from one point, which is you have to make money. So obviously money was the motivation for me back then, and I just found strength because money was pushing me like, oh yeah, girl, you can do this, girl, you can do this. So anyways, that's just intro on how I have an entrepreneurship life based on those 4 businesses, but currently I'm just a baker. I don't do hair. No, not in Lagos. So currently I'm just a baker, and I'm also a medical doctor, and now I'm a radio show host. Can you believe that? I still find it weird that I'm talking to you. You can hear my voice on the other side, but I do hope you find the show interesting, so that I can share more of me on the show. So now let's get into the topic. I'll just talk about my journey aside the business. I'm a medical doctor, but there's a but to it, in the sense that I'm actually not a practicing medical doctor. I have a lot to share, right? Okay, so just quick journey info for you. So I went to medical school, obviously, 6 years, and then 1 other year for foundation back in 2009. I graduated 2016. But before I graduated, I actually knew I wasn't cut out for, calls every night or every other night, having no life, basically. I just found myself wanting something different. But at this point, it was kind of late already to quit medical school, because I was in my 4th year or so. And I had to start thinking of something else. I was like, you don't want to do this medicine, but you still have to graduate and be a doctor, right? But what else can you do to set you apart and actually create another path for yourself? So it just took me months, actually, not just a day or a week. It took me months to actually think of my career. Like, what exactly do you want to do? You already know you don't want to do this thing, but what can you do? You can't go to medical school, abandon your degree, and then do what? Sit down at home in your mom's house, in your husband's house, or what? So I definitely knew I wanted to have a career, but I wasn't sure how I wanted to go about having that career since I was already quitting the one thing I was qualified or almost qualified to be, which was a doctor. So I think about some months to me writing my final board exam in medical school, I kind of just thought, okay, you know what, girl, you definitely have to do a master's, because as a doctor, you are not that free to do other things, especially in healthcare, if you are not qualified for it. So yeah, you're a doctor, but that's all. You can't say you want to be admin doctor or something like that. Even for you to be the CMD, you must have practiced for some particular X number of years before you can be promoted, step by step, and then eventually become chief medical director. So it's not beans, basically, and I just knew I wasn't set up for that life, trying to build before I'll now become a CMD or be an admin director. So some months to me writing my final board exam, I just decided, you know what, you definitely need to have a master's, because that was the next option for me if I really wanted to live the clinical medical life. But then, once again, I wasn't sure what masters I wanted to do. So you can see, from the little I've said, there was confusion. So that should be probably the most number one challenge that you face while you're trying to build your career. You'll be confused, especially when you're trying to leave a field where you're used to doing one thing to another field where you know nothing about it. You're going to be confused, because there will be a lot of choices that you have to make for you to be able to reach that point where you want to go to. So yes, I was confused. I've been there, but I knew that the path was a master's. So my next question was, what masters do you want to do? So because I still wanted to be in healthcare, I really wasn't open to maybe doing MBA or anything that was just not related to healthcare. So now it narrowed down my choices to, okay, what are the popular masters in healthcare? And that was public health, and I think I saw something about nutrition and health safety or something like that. But those two were just not appealing. I'm really hard not to crack, right? But the two options I could find, easily on Google, they were just not appealing to me. I really was not interested in public health. I felt I'll have to do epidemiology. I really did not like epidemiology. So for that core reason, I was like, hell to the no, I am not doing public health. The nutrition and safety, I really was not interested. So this just made things worse. I mean, I already narrowed down a path that, okay, it was a master's, but then I still did not have a choice. And time was ticking because I was about to graduate from medical school and I didn't know what my next plan was. And trust me, your final year of school is the worst ever because that's when you realize that, oh my God, you're actually about to be a full-blown adult where your parents will take their hands off your case, no pocket money anymore, nothing. So your final year kind of throws you into a like a hole where you're trying to get yourself out of. So for me, I was right deep in that hole because things just weren't looking right. And I was beginning to think, okay, it looks like you have to practice this medicine because there's no other choice for you right now. So guess what happened next? So we go on a short break now and I'll continue the story for you. Yes, you're still listening to your girl, Dr. Dedun, and this is Unfold. So where was I before? I was talking about, master choices and all that. So basically, one random night, I think the eve of my final course exam, as in the exam that I would do before a board exam, I was just bored of studying. So I was like, okay, masters in Europe. I mean, I was in Hungary, so I was kind of just looking for universities within Europe where I could actually have a master's. I definitely knew I didn't want to stay back in Hungary. I really wanted to travel around and all that. So I googled, I think, masters in healthcare in Europe or something similar. And randomly, I think it was an ad or something, I just saw Rome Business School. This is interesting, right? I was like, okay, business school. But I just clicked. I mean, I just wanted to check what was going on. Then I surfed through the school's page and all that. Their masters were mainly MBAs. I can't remember, but there were just a lot of non-healthcare related masters. Sorry, excuse me. So at the last part of that list, I just saw MSc e-health management. I was like, oh, okay, what is e-health? Google to the rescue. I said, I'm going to Google what e-health was. Then I googled, I read about e-health and the opportunities in e-health, and I mean, we're actually in digital age already. We're not in stone age. So I mean, the world is moving very, very fast in electronics, digitals, and all that. And I thought, okay, e-health, that seems to be a field that will be very, very big in the near future. So I just took a couple of days, weeks. Sorry, I think this harmattan is affecting our voices, or I'm coughing actually. Sorry about that. So I just researched on what e-health was about, what health informatics was about, and I tried to think if it was something I could actually do. So this took, I think, 2 months for me to really find out what the course was about. And I made a decision. I was like, okay, girl, you know what? Just go for this. This is the only interesting thing that has actually caught your attention since you've been searching like for months now. And that was how I applied. And guess what? I actually got the admission, I think, that same week. And I made payment for it. It was a very spontaneous thing. I really never in a million years thought I was going to do that. But I settled for it. And 1 year later, I'm actually happy I did. I finished the master's in 2017. Excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. I had to attend to that silly cough that was trying to ruin our moment. So I'll just quickly rush through because I still want to bring my guest on the show. So basically I did a master's, all that, and there comes another part of, okay, now I have to move back to Nigeria. I mean, there's lots of story behind that, but I just eventually moved back to Nigeria in 2017. And in Nigeria, for you to be a licensed doctor, not only do you have to take their own exam, you also have to do a 1 year mandatory housemanship. So this brought me back into the clinical medicine field that I really did not want to do, but I had to do it, in which I was even jobless for 1 full year. I mean, I'll probably have to say that story some other day. It's not for today because it was crazy. Maybe on the next episode I'll talk about it. So if you have any questions for me regarding how to manage yourself while looking for a job and all that, just, contact me on my social media, Dr. Dedun, on Instagram and Twitter. Okay, on Twitter is Dr._Dedun actually, but Instagram is faster for you to reach me. Just DRDEDUN. So send your questions there and I'll respond on the next episode. So I eventually finished my house job, and this now created a full-blown confusion on my career. I was like, okay, this is it. I've been looking forward to finishing house job and then just officially quit clinical medicine. But on the flip side, I was like, they do. Okay, so what are you building now? So, I mean, I've been here before in terms of trying to choose a career and all that. So it wasn't as difficult as the first time, because now I have a master's to back it up. I have qualifications and all that. So I knew definitely I was going to go into health tech. But the second challenge now is finding the right company. Not only that, making sure they actually hire you for that job. So if you notice, I've actually mentioned, I think, about 3 challenges in career building now, which is first is the initial confusion of what you want to do. The second one is the qualifications you have for that field. I was a doctor, but obviously I could not go into health tech because I really did not have any qualifications in it. So I solved my confusion in the first place by choosing a master's. Then secondly, I went for a master's in a field I knew I could actually grow in. So that was the solution for the second challenge, which was qualifications. Now we're on the third challenge, which is finding the right company and then have them hire you for that job. So during my house job, I was already planning for the end of house job phases. So I started looking out for some health tech companies in Nigeria, which I should mention, there are a lot, but most of them are startups. So it depends on what you want for yourself. Do you want to start from scratch with a company, or do you want to go into a big org and grow, your levels there, or you want to actually start with a startup? So definitely, I really wasn't looking for startup jobs because I felt I still had a lot to learn, and I did really want to learn while a company is also learning, if you get what I'm trying to say. Like, I wanted to learn with a company that already knows that this is their mission, their vision, and all those yada yada that companies say. So I was looking for big companies basically, but now I couldn't find the right company, if that was the word I was going to use, because most of the ones I could work with, they were in Abuja, and I was ready to move. Trust me, career building is a lot to deal with mentally, because when you think you found the right one and then something else happens and then blah 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 blah. But till now, I will actually say I've still not found the health tech company I would love to work with, but regardless, I'm still building my career in another field, which currently I'm doing is quality improvement. I mean, sometimes in life you think you actually know what you want until you enter something and you're like, oh yeah, this can actually work too. So I'm not 100% like, oh, I must die on the line while I'm looking for that big health tech company. I'm also trying to grow in another field that is still interesting to me, if you get it. That's still interesting to me, but not completely off what I would really love. So yes, that's for the third challenge. And then the next challenge will be your lack or inadequate amount of core passion for that field. So yes, you want to start your career, but are you really passionate about that field? For me, I was a doctor. I went to medical school. You can never take that from me. It's always been in front of my name, DR. So I definitely knew I didn't want to be a clinical doctor. I didn't want to be going to the hospital and trying to care for sick people every day of my life while I'm getting ill myself and nobody's taking care of me. I just did not want that life. But at the same time, was I passionate about the field I wanted to go in? Yes. I'm a very techie person. Like, even my website, I built it myself. Yeah, not coding, but template and all those things. But it's interesting to me, So I felt, okay, I had some interest in it. Passion, not fully well, but eventually, during the masters, I eventually just got the passion for it. So, guys, I think I've actually spoken for too long. This is a very broad topic, and I could go on and on till tomorrow. However, I don't want to keep my guest waiting, so I'm going to bring him on after the break. Stay tuned for my special guest. welcome back to Unfold. So I did mention I have a guest. I mean, he was already giving me side eye that I've not called him on the show. So I would like to welcome my guest for today, Mr. Soji Akinlabi, who is a financial journalist. I mean, just imagine, do you know this guy is actually a qualified biochemist and now is a financial journalist? Like, how in the world did you move from being a biochemist to being a financial journalist? So we made Soji, we're going to talk about, career development and all that. So just introduce yourself to my beautiful guest listening to us.
Well, I'm not Dr. Dedun. Soji Akinlabi. There's no tie to my name. So just that you know that, unlike some people, there's no tie to my name.
Now.
Yeah, you know how we roll. My name is Soji Akinlabi. I'm a biochemist and proud to say that. I'm still very much passionate about clinical research and all that. But currently, I'm a financial journalist, but also an aspiring private equity practitioner. So,
you're really building this your portfolio.
Yeah, we're getting there gradually.
You're getting there, billionaire club.
As it is right now, I'm a financial journalist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my first question to you, I mean, we're talking about career building, career development and all that. And if you're talking to maybe an uneducated person and you tell them, oh, I studied biochemistry. Okay, so what are you doing now? I'm a financial journalist. Like, how in the world did you make that switch? I mean, it's been over the years, obviously, but at what point did you tip into, going that line? Like, was it premeditated or you just found yourself being in media and advertising?
So I think for me, I had done a couple of things already while I was still doing clinical research and all of that. I was doing a couple of other things, but then I think at some point I was at a place where the only opportunity I had was in the media. And I just took
Sorry to cut you there. I think that's actually a very key point.
Yeah.
When we're busy looking for opportunities, we shouldn't be blind to miss the ones that
are available. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So, opportunity was available for me in the media space, and I just took it. And here we are today. The rest is just
like that. Like poof, magic. Okay, that's awesome. But I know, behind the scenes, you did tell me it was after NYSC.
Yes.
After NYSC, you just found yourself, being in the media space, and I mean, you eventually got qualifications for it, definitely. Which I think addresses my point of qualification challenge. Meaning, if you know what you want to do, just go for qualifications, and it will give you like a very good standpoint in that particular field, right?
I think one of the major things we neglect when we are looking at I want to build a career and all of that, like you said, available opportunities. One, also two, as much as people talk about passion, yes, what you're passionate about is there and all that. But in my experience, your area of passion might not be what you're going to start off with.
Yes.
In most cases, your area of passion is not what you're going to start off with. So it's better to start off with whatever is available, just wherever you can begin. And of course, where the target is, where your eyes are looking at, and all of that. Then you gradually work your ways into that. Because in my own case, I mean, I got into the media space, and of course I started climbing the ladder and also started exploring different aspects of the media, and didn't stay on the content side, went into advertising and all that, just to explore the different parts to media. And it's exciting what I've been able to discover, and opportunities that are available beyond what people can see on the surface and all that. So basically, those are the 3 points. What are the available opportunities? You don't necessarily have to start in your area of passion.
Yes,
And
yes.
You have bills to pay. It's not bad to consider that.
I mean, I just mentioned I'm doing quality improvement,
Yeah.
which, I mean, I really want to do health tech instead, but
Definitely.
it's still a step forward.
And you're collecting data and all that.
Do you get... Thank you. And that is the core of health tech, data
Yeah.
collection,
Yeah.
data analysis and all that. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely learning in this field
Definitely.
that I can use forward.
And that process of learning is very important because eventually that's what will take you to where you actually want to be.
Yes.
So I think for me that's just the way it is. It's not bad to think about bills to pay, and just start wherever you can start.
Yes, that's actually jam. Like, I really hope you guys wrote those down because you won't hear it anywhere else. Just another quick question. I mean, between you finishing your BSc and now, like, how many years gap? Like, how long did it take for you to be where you are now?
So my first degree was way back in 2009. So
That's
it's
10
been
years
10
ago.
years, and obviously I've had several other degrees and all that. But I think the journey for me, it's been a decade actually, and actually now that I'm
Now you're
thinking
thinking
about
about
it,
Like, you're not young again, no.
not even
That's
that.
a journey
It actually
That's
took me
a
a whole
journey.
decade to
to get to this point. I mean,
and to think that I've gone many places and now I'm in my home country where it all started. Actually,
I think we should actually talk about that. Moving back to Nigeria,
Yeah.
it's a very big topic, and it should be in our future episodes. Definitely, it's another topic for another day.
Definitely.
You came back.
Yeah, I mean,
came back.
you also came back.
That is very
You
true.
also came back.
Trust me, my own coming back, it had a lot of drama, and I'll address it.
Yeah,
moving forward,
I remember
definitely.
we spoke about you coming back.
I
at some
know,
point,
right? 2 years
which
ago.
personally I wasn't very much in support.
Thank you. And now you're here, right in front of me, back in Lagos, Nigeria with me. Can you believe that? Like, that's the thing. Like, when you plan for something,
Yeah.
be open to what is in your face. Like we've mentioned
Definitely.
before. No, but none of us, as in the two of us, Soji and I, never planned to move back to Nigeria in the sense of it. Because, I mean... Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Like, I don't need to say much, but you understand.
Yeah.
But now we're here and we're actually thriving. We're not doing badly, are we?
Definitely.
Exactly. So, just be open to other opportunities that you aren't particularly looking for, and just use it as a platform to grow and to develop yourself in that particular career. Because trust me, because you want to be a manager, doesn't mean you get a managerial role at your first interview.
You won't get there overnight.
You won't get there overnight, definitely. And also worthy of mention is, I think from the get-go, it's good for you to know where you want to end up. Like, if you're the kind of person that is, I want to be creative, I want to be my own boss, then, well, be your own boss by all means, but be careful while being your own boss, because it's definitely not easy being your own boss. And if you're the type that, want to grow, climb the ladder, be in an organization, wear suit and tie every morning, then by all means, just go into it, like, because there's really no point if you want to grow in a company and then you are focused on trying to sell pens or something. I mean, those are two conflicting things. But I should also mention, you'll be distracted. Yes, definitely. But I should also mention that if you want to do both, go for it. Like, I am the champion for that, and that is what I'm currently doing. I already mentioned I'm a baker, right?
You are a
and I also have a
one.
9 to 5.
So
anything is possible in this world, and that is my motto.
That
like,
I agree.
Don't be restricted by statements, by rules. Don't be restricted. Anything is possible as long as you have an end goal to what you want to achieve for your career. I mean, 35 years time when you're about to retire, are you going to be happy in this field? Ask yourself those tough questions, and don't make decisions based on hearsay or based on your neighbor and all that. So anyway, I just wanted to ask Soji, what's it called? Like, what kind of advice will you give someone just starting up, building a career now, and what they should look forward to in terms of challenges? Maybe something different from what I've mentioned already.
I think one thing that has worked for me is that ability to be able to track progress. Track progress.
Key. That's key.
Yeah.
That's key.
You should be able to track progress in your career life.
Yes.
If you cannot track progress, that means you're not doing something right.
Yes.
Something is fundamentally wrong. If you're able to track progress and identify progress, that means you're getting closer than you were yesterday, today.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter what the situation is right now, as long as you can identify progress in the entire journey. I think you eventually get there. And for me, there are times, there are days that I thought, okay, it doesn't seem as if I'm getting to where I want to get to. You understand? But when I look back, when I sit down and of course be able to track, okay, is there been progress? I can actually clearly see progress, and that alone is a motivating factor for me. During the days where you probably a bit down or
and you
discouraged,
feel stuck,
so
like you're not moving. Just look back,
track
I
progress.
just mentioned how 10 years ago, did you even
10?
realize that it's been 10 years exactly? So if you are tracking it like, this year I've gone forward, I think it will make it easier for you to really look back on your journey and be like, wow, I've actually gone very far.
Definitely. The last 10 years, there's been several milestones. There's been a lot in the bags that I'm actually so thankful for. Not to brag, I have been in the best school in the world and all of that, and
don't let me say it.
Don't say it, but actually you're actually making me, reflecting on these 10 years right now.
It's almost 2020, so you can plan for the next 10.
Yeah, I'm already planning, to say, okay, it's actually been a lot of progress.
Learning journey.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Do you have any final comments?
I think I have made my final comments. The progress, the ability to be able to track progress. The way you would track progress might be different from the way I would track progress.
Yes. Because you're even measuring different things. So it can't be identical.
So it's not something you can just pick the way somebody is doing it and you want to do it that way as well. So you have to identify how can you track progress in your career, life or your career trajectory. If the trajectory is upward sloping, of course, good. If it's probably hyperbolic or something,
plateau,
then you know that there's trouble.
There needs to be improvement.
So you won't be able to know, okay, there is fire on the mountain, something has to be done. Then possibly you can speak to an expert or just be able to know that, okay, in this aspect I need to do something and all that.
Okay. Yeah. That's actually amazing advice for my listeners.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you guys questions. So if you did not listen well, better replay when the podcast is up later this week. I just want to say thank you, Soji.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here. We're running out of time, so
I'm just going to we are.
Somebody decided to.
I was really having fun, giving you guys the deeds of my journey so far. I really hope that wasn't boring for you. So thank you, Soji Akinlabi, the financial journalist, or rather, the biochemist and financial journalist.
That's what they do.
Thank you for being on my show today.
Good
to my awesome listeners, so today we just tackled on the challenges involved in career building and development, and I mentioned quite a lot of points, from confusion to you feeling stuck, to you not having enough qualifications for that role, to you finding a good company to actually work with, and just solving these challenges along the way. And Soji mentioned something that is very important, and I've written it down for myself. I really hope you did, which is track your progress. Track it even from finishing university. Don't wait till you actually get a job before you track your progress. Start from that moment after university. How long have you spent searching for a job? How long have you spent in a particular job? How long do you want to spend? Where do you find yourself? Where do you want to find yourself in 10 years time, 5 years time, 2 years, and all that? So I think that is a very, very important advice. With that said, I just want to thank you for listening to Unfold. We air every Sunday by 3:30 p.m. on Africa Business Radio, your number one online business radio. Follow us on Instagram, Africa Business Radio, and on Twitter, Africa Biz Radio, BIZ. and your host, Dr. Dedun herself, Her Royal Majesty. My handle is Dr. Dedun on Instagram and Facebook, which is DRDEDUN, and on Twitter is DR_DEDUN. Till next time, my beautiful listeners, I will see you, hear you, feel you once again next week. Thank you. Bye.
Africa is not a country. It is not a big homogeneous market. It's thriving with some of the world's fastest growing economies. To find out more, log on africabusinessradio.com towards a profitable Africa.